Okay, Joe, thanks for coming on here. I just want to jump right into this and ask you the first question. How has the present economic situation impacted your business, and how are you dealing with that?
Well, hi, Todd. Thanks for having me. It's absolutely been a trying time for small businesses, even medium and large size businesses. You don't have to look too far to realize that professional sports, which of course is $1 billion industry, has been decimated. So this isn't just small business owners. This is anyone in business who relies on human beings. Right. It's impacted us. Absolutely. There have been facets of our business wiped out completely. For example, in our business, we do a lot of public speaking and personal training when it comes to social media management, online and digital assets, and those sorts of things. We haven't been able to be in front of human beings. We haven't been able to be in gymnasiums or auditoriums or conference rooms. However, the only thing to do, there's only two things you can do. You can, cry about it, or you can pivot and change the way you do things, which of course we're doing. You and I are here on this broadcast right now, and this is exactly what we're doing when it comes to training or public speaking. We've simply pivoted to a digital. All of these new technologies exist for us. And so it's been very trying. We're treading water. Our arms are tired. We're certainly, not where we want to be, but we are surviving because that's what Albertans do. For sure. And that's the basis of what I'm doing here. We will survive. We will get through this, and we'll be stronger because of it, I think. So, yeah, without question. And you're right. There's so many amazing small businesses, mom and pop organizations, so to speak. Certainly the restaurant industry and hospitality industry gets a lot of the press. We all know what it's like to order a pizza or food and beverage. But it's really important to realize, besides retail and besides food and beverage, that small businesses who offer services or intellectual property, they've been affected too. And so the local support is heard loud and clear by businesses like ours. For sure. So on that note, how would you say your business has changed because of all this? What are some of the things, I know we touched on a little bit, but what are some of the things that you would say are the biggest changes that have affected you? Well, what's interesting, there have been some major changes. Certainly what I mentioned, we've taken it all online. We've had to. Right. But at the same time, it's a business like ours that was poised to succeed in such a trying time. We're obviously a digital business. We've had social media and digital presence for a very long time. We've been teaching business owners how to do that. And we're witnessing just how many didn't heed that warning. And now they're scrambling because they have no audience. They've tried desperately on LinkedIn or on Twitter or on their Facebook or Instagram page to generate some audience response. But if you weren't there before, it's awfully hard to say, hi, everybody, we're here now. Can you maybe support us online? So it has changed a lot. We've switched our public interactions, our meetings, our consultations, our social media audits, and our trainings to online. But it hasn't changed to a great deal either, because I think this was all sitting here and everyone was kind of waiting for the first business to do it. And I think the COVID crisis actually taught businesses, we don't really need the boardroom like we think we do. We just need the camera, the computers, and then the opportunity to broadcast. And that's not saying social interaction and engagement in human ways with handshakes and eye contact isn't also important. Right. Which is true. I think everybody needs to have that touch every once in a while where you're just face to face with somebody. But I do realize that this is so important now. Just being able to still connect and still move forward. I think that you're so right. This is the wave of the future that has been sitting here waiting for us to catch up to it. And we're now forced into it. And us, well said. And at Joe Social Media, this isn't meant to sound braggadocious, but for whatever reason, we realized this so long ago, almost a decade now, which, by the way, in social media years is an eternity. Oh, for sure. Instagram and Snapchat didn't even exist when we started our business, let alone the business administration opportunities that Facebook now offers. We knew a long, long time ago, as did a few others, but not many, that digital communications, digital public relations on behalf of a business or brand was going to be this future. And so again, it's been an easy transition for us from the perspective of understanding digital, but it has been a difficult transition for us because it doesn't matter how much we understand it. It's the customers and the clientele. It's the Albertans that have to support it. And if they don't know how to Instagram or use a hashtag, we have to teach them.
For sure. And I guess that's like a really good segue into my next question, which is, what lessons have you learned that you will take forward when we get back to whatever normal is going to be?
For sure. One of the things that we've learned as a business is, much like a lot of businesses have entertained, is that we can actually engage with our staff, our employment, much easier than we thought. Mm-hmm. We like many businesses, it's very difficult to get a lot of people, specifically if geography is in the way. You've got people in other provinces or other parts of the region. Yep. We were always taxed with the ability to have staff meetings, simple, temperature check-ins with employees. Right. Now we realize that's not difficult at all. We just need to schedule a Zoom or a Skype or a FaceTime meeting. Right. So we've certainly learned, as odd as it is, we knew it existed, but it just wasn't part of our vernacular in business, and now it is. We've also learned just how important it is and proof positive of social media presence. Mm-hmm. We were very fortunate to be one of the very first in our region, and certainly parts of Western Canada, to just continue our diligence of online behavior, mm-hmm. not advertising to people, not selling them things in posts, but just being present. Right. And we have seen a rise in business, the opportunity to hire people. We've got summer employment coming for students. We're doing that because we didn't disappear and because we weren't mute back when this was normal. Right.
For sure. So my next question then is talking to that person who maybe is looking at a business opportunity right now, or hasn't got a job, doesn't have any prospects on the job market, and thinks this is the right time for me to start out. What is some advice that you give to that person as a new business owner, or getting into that startup phase?
Yeah, it's a great question. And I want to be very clear. When you say that person, it's really important that we dissect that person, because obviously we are all different. And this is poignant, though, because there's really multiple kinds of personalities right. that can all find success in our current entrepreneurship culture. Right. The online capabilities of all of these channels, the ones you've heard the names of but maybe have never logged into, or the ones you're logged into but don't use to their full extent, are absolutely incredible. And this is part of what we do when we speak in schools about the opportunities, the entrepreneurship opportunities of silly channels like TikTok, Twitch, YouTube, Instagram. We're now seeing an entire new career in social media influencing, for example, where you have an audience. It doesn't matter who that audience is. You have an influence among people in business or personal, and you have the ability to influence them. Therefore, the products and services you would normally buy would like into your audience so you can influence your audience. Right. That's influencing, for example. That didn't exist 10, 15 years ago. No, for sure. Obviously, if you're a content creator, we've seen the rise by channels like YouTube, Twitch, which is a streaming platform for video games or other streaming elements of your life, Instagram, and so many others. If you're a content creator, if you really like being a creator, it doesn't mean you have to be funny or a comedian or a great dancer. It just means you're entertaining, you're informative, you're educational, you're something that other people want to consume. We've seen a rise in the ability to make money at that. And so that's part of what we teach, not just for young adults, but even for the boomers of our society. Because I'll be honest with you, Todd, almost nobody we meet from a professional standpoint who does something in business and uses social media to promote it, almost nobody we meet uses the channels to even 50% or 25% of what they can do.
Oh, yeah. No, I totally see that. Especially coming from a background, I mean, I would say that my business is probably still stuck in the 90s, my background anyways. And to move into this platform, it's like you're actually pushing yourself into the absolute future and exploring something that you have no comprehension even of. And I'm finding talking to people in my industry, there's such a resistance to all of this because they just can't see how it would fit into the business because it's not the way we've ever done things before.
or the way we were raised to see it. We're used to getting plunked in front of a media channel, whether it's radio or television or newspaper or a transit billboard on the highway. That channel sits there inanimate. If we yell at the radio, it didn't talk back. If our parents shook their fist at a news report, it didn't comment back. Now we have the editorial opportunity to engage and be engaged with some of the biggest brands in our history, never mind celebrity, but celebrity brands. If you want to say something positive or negative on social media about something, the best practice for that something is to comment and make things right using customer service. And that was never possible before. And so the only very, very few business owners and entrepreneurs like yourself are realizing this potential. Yeah. And by the way, we can test that right here, right now. As you're watching this, we hope you're enjoying it, but do Todd a favor. Right now in the comments section, add a heart emoji. Yes. Put a smiley face, throw a thumbs up. Just let us know you got to this point of this interview and that you find it valuable. And what you'll see is of your viewers and of those people ready and willing to engage, they'll do that because they want to show you the support of your great content. Yeah.
No, I appreciate you throwing that out. It's still a new platform for me. So I forget sometimes that it's just a matter of asking and people will step up and say, hey, yeah, I can do that. And it's so simple like that. I think that's the thing is that really just a simple click or a thumbs up or even just adding a quick little comment is such an easy thing to do. And it's something that can be done in a couple of seconds and then you can move on to whatever it is you're doing. So yeah,
it's about the ask, right? And that's a little bit of sales training as well for anyone who's taken sales training or has a quota to meet, or maybe it's commission in your world. It's simply going to the ask part. Right. So for example, like I'm Joe Whitbread everywhere. You see my name at the bottom of the screen. Go follow me online at Joe Whitbread. I'm on Insta, I'm on Twitter, I'm on Facebook, I'm on LinkedIn. You can find me online. I'm even on TikTok. Follow me and I'll follow you back and we'll engage together.
Right on. Okay. So moving forward now from this point, what are your plans in the future? Like what are things that you're kind of looking at and getting excited about and going, hey, this is where we're going. This is where we're moving. This is different. We've never done this before, but we're going to take this chance. We're going to step out and just do it.
Well, as much as a proponent I am of this amazing new realm of business opportunity using digital platforms, I miss human contact. I miss the boardroom, obviously through my public speaking, my live announcing, my live event. Yeah. I miss that a great deal. So I'm going to when it's safe to do so, I'm going to find new ways to be safe in large rooms and be an entertainer again, because I do miss that. Right. But at the same time, we're really poised in a learning area. We know just before all of this unfortunate circumstance was a reality, we opened our new space. Unfortunately, we weren't allowed to open the doors, but on April 1st, we opened the new Joe Youth Creative. And this is a first of its kind training center for youth. With the permissions and the guidance of their parents or the adults in their life. In other words, all of those entrepreneurial opportunities that I talk about that adults have, kids already know they have it. They just don't have the permission. If you're 13 years old and all you know is every time you entertain someone on your TikTok channel or stream your video games on Twitch, you actually get an audience and comments. Kids know this, but they have no guidance or mentorship from parents, because instead parents just say, put that away. That's dumb. That's not how we do things. Yeah. And so the Joe Youth Creative is opening up. When we're allowed to have kids back in, we're going to show them the entrepreneurial value, even the monetary value of their personal brands. Right. That's what I'm really excited for. My business partner, Joe Phillips, and I have created something really special here. Yeah. And unfortunately, it's about December 22nd. All we want is for Christmas morning and for everyone to open the presents. We know what's under the tree. We're ready. We've been planning and preparing and researching for this for years. Right. But it's not yet Christmas morning, and we can't wait for Christmas morning.
No, that's very cool. I'm excited for you, just seeing the passion you have for that. And I mean, as I've followed you, I've seen that you've also got this incredible passion for youth and just reaching out and making sure that they're safe online. Like I've seen that many times where you've made posts about just being aware as a parent. And I know as a parent, because I mean, I got 3 young kids as well. Sometimes it's difficult to understand what it is that they're getting into. And it's easier to just say, nope, we're just going to shut her down and we're not going to deal with any of that stuff because I read something on Facebook, rather than doing the research yourself and understanding what it is that they're actually getting involved in. So
we're seeing, yeah, I appreciate that. We're seeing such hypocrisy among adults right now. It's hilarious when you're from our perspective, because, 2 months ago, parents and adults in our world were writing bad things on Snapchat, about TikTok, and about children being so incredibly unsafe online. What's the first thing almost every parent did during their boredom stage of COVID? They joined TikTok. They even started creating on TikTok and being on Snapchat with their kids. So one of the positives in all of this is we've actually started an at-home social media conversation. YouTube channels are actually being broadcast on the family television. Mm-hmm. And that's really important because, there's bad words and there's bad things that kids can watch online. There is no rating system like you and I had the privilege of growing up with. So if we can watch YouTube channels, as terrible as our teenagers choose them online, at least we can have a conversation about what they're watching and why they're watching it. It's a real psychological analysis of what they're doing. And so one of the positives in all of this is that parents are actually paying attention to their own online and device behaviors as much as their kids for the first time ever. For sure.
So I just wanted to wrap this conversation up with you just telling us a little bit about who you are, what it is that you do. I know we've touched on this a little bit, but I mean, maybe you can add a little bit more about all of the other things that you use to serve your clients as well. And just, let's put a little plug in for Joe Social and see just all of the things that you cover as well.
Yeah, I really appreciate that. And that's such a tough question. For those of you who know me, or maybe you've connected with me on LinkedIn and you watch from afar, Joe Social Media is my co-proprietorship with my business partner, the other Joe. There's two Joes. The reason there's brackets around the E is because she's J-O, I'm J-O-E. We have a very large staff of content managers, trainers, and social media professionals that work on behalf of businesses and brands. And while Joe Social Media is my lifeblood and it's my job and my entrepreneurial, amazing opportunity that we created out of nothing and are one of the first to do. Joe Whitbread has been around for a long time. Many of you might recognize me in Central Alberta territory as the host of the Red Deer Rebels. I just wrapped up my 20th season in the Western Hockey League. I announce and host many community events. I'm invited to give away at award shows or host philanthropic or fundraisers. I've been at golf tournaments. I'll do shorts and sandals and golf hat events, and I'll do tuxedo events. And that's really generated some incredible brand exposure for all the other things that I do, like Joe Social Media and Joe Youth Creative. But it's also really engaged me to network with my community. And that's why social media isn't hard for me, because I've done social media from way before there were computers or internet. Networking is social media. It's simply shaking hands, kissing babies, and making sure that you understand the value of local. So, in a nutshell, who am I? I'm an entertainer. I've got jazz hands, and I make sure through my public speaking that you're engaged, and hopefully you felt my passion and my energy. That's all real. That's reality. But I love to inform. I love to educate. I love to help protect youth and our own mental health. And I just can't wait till we get back to normal and we can have conversations like this in an actual studio.
Yeah, for sure. No, I so appreciate you coming on to the show today. It's my heart to let Alberta know that there still are entrepreneurs out there that are excited about what they're doing, that are still growing their brand, that are still growing their business. Even if they've had to scale back a little bit, they've got plans for the future, and that we're not dead and out, that we will be strong again, just like my hashtag says there. And I mean, if you're watching this and you've got to this point, just click on hashtag Alberta Strong Again and start following it to see more content like this, so that you get that chance to just really be a part of this new beginning. And we will all get to that place where we will see Alberta start to grow and strengthen, and we will be better than we have ever been before. So thanks again, Joe, for coming on. And I just sure appreciate just what you're doing and the value that you're bringing to your community. I know that you've mentioned many times about just staying local. Like there's so many local businesses that can do the things that all of these other guys with big advertising budgets can do. And they can probably do it in a better way because they understand what's happening here and right now. So just
and you're welcome and well said. I want to just add that local is perceived in many different ways. So don't get caught up on staying so local that you're ignoring the outlying communities of your area. If you're watching this from the Peace region and you live in Grand Prairie, remember that Peace River, Sexsmith, and Fairview are local. Remember that Dawson Creek across the border in Fort St. John are also local. If you're watching this from central Alberta, remember that everywhere from Stettler to Rocky Mountain House, Sylvan Lake, Ponoka, and Innisfail, they're all local to you living in Red Deer. Same as southern Alberta in the Medicine Hat region in Lethbridge. Local isn't just the city or the community you live in. Yeah. It's so much more. So I really appreciate you saying that. And I loved being on your show.
Oh, it's been a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you.